Welcome. Trauma is my jam, and by that I mean I help you understand what your body is doing. Let's make sense of it together. Hello, beautiful souls, and welcome to Trauma to Triumph. I'm Pamela, and trauma is my jam because understanding it changes everything. Here, we talk about how trauma lives in the nervous system and how we gently teach it safety again. Have you ever been told you're too sensitive, you're overreacting, calm down, it's not that big of a deal? And inside, your body is screaming, this is a very big deal? Today, I want you to hear this clearly. You are not overreacting. Your nervous system is attempting to protect you. When something feels threatening, our brain does not pause to decide whether it's logical. It activates protection. It happens in the part of your brain called the amygdala. And the amygdala's job is simple: detect danger and keep you alive. It does not care if the danger is a bear in the woods or someone raising their voice. It does not care if the threat is rejection, conflict, a tone shift, a facial expression, or a memory being triggered. If your nervous system has learned that something is unsafe, it reacts automatically. Now, that reaction might look like snapping, shutting down, crying quickly, feeling anxious, forcing you to leave a room, going numb, becoming defensive, over-explaining, panicking, and people-pleasing. That is not drama. That is survival wiring. If you grew up in unpredictability, with criticism, chaos, addiction, emotional neglect, or chronic stress, your system had no choice but to adapt. It became vigilant, it became fast, and it became protective. The nervous system does not overreact. It responds based on stored experience. If this feels big now, it is because at some point in your life, it had to be. Your reaction makes sense in context. Now, your body has protective pathways. One is activation, often called fight or flight. Your heart rate increases, your muscles tensen, your voice sharpens, adrenaline rises. And the other is shutdown, which is referred to as freeze. You feel numb, foggy, heavy, disconnected, exhausted. These are not personal flaws. They are biological protection patterns. And when you understand that, you can start to remove the shame that is often associated with the reactions we have. Let's explore some real life examples. So, flight response. If you grew up in a household where raised voices sometimes turned into physical violence, your nervous system learned very quickly that raised voices meant danger. So today, if somebody raises their voice, even slightly, your body may react before your mind even has a chance to know what's going on. You might suddenly feel your heart racing, your stomach drops, you feel an urgent need to leave the room, you shut down the conversation, or you physically remove yourself. Logically, you may know that this person that you are speaking with is not going to harm you, but your nervous system is not responding to logic. It is responding to stored memory. Your body is saying, last time voices got loud, it wasn't safe. Let me get out of here. That is flight. It is not immaturity, it is protection. Now, let's look at freeze. Using the same childhood environment, maybe you learned that leaving made things worse. Maybe trying to defend yourself escalated it, so your system adapted differently. When someone raises their voice, instead of leaving, you go still. Your body feels heavy, your mind goes blank, you cannot find your words, and later you think, why didn't I say anything? In the moment, your nervous system chose the safest option it knew. Become small, become quiet, become invisible. That is freeze. And again, it is not a weakness. It is a survival strategy that once kept you safe. Now, we're going to look at people pleasing. Let's go back to that same childhood environment where raised voices sometimes led to danger. Maybe you learned very early to keep everyone happy, and that kept you safe. So you become the peacekeeper. You monitor moods, you soften your tone, you apologize quickly, and you fix things that were never yours to fix. Now, as an adult, when somebody is disappointed, irritated, or distant, your body reacts fast. You may get tightening in your chest. Your mind starts scanning. What did I do wrong? How can I make this better? You might agree to things that you don't want to. You might overextend yourself. You're likely going to say yes when you really want to say no. And you apologize for having needs. Again, not because you are weak, but because your nervous system learned if everyone is okay, then I stay safe and okay as well too. This is fawn response, and it's not personality, it is protection. And finally, let's look at over-explaining. Again, in that same household environment, maybe your experience was constantly questioned. Maybe you were misunderstood, blamed, or not believed. So you learned that the only way to stay safe was to explain everything, to justify yourself, to provide evidence, and to prove you were not wrong. Now, as an adult, if somebody even questions you, even slightly, your body begins to react. You feel a sudden urge of urgency. You talk faster. You give more detail than necessary. You explain your reasoning from 5 different angles, and you defend before you're even attacked. And later on, you may look back and go, why did I go on like that? Or in my case, oftentimes I would be like, why did I say all that to people? And I would tell people things that really, honestly, I don't know you well enough to share that stuff with. Because somewhere in your history, you not being understood did not feel safe. So your nervous system says, explain everything. Stay ahead of the danger. That's not insecurity. That is your nervous system, again, trying to prevent rejection, blame, or punishment. Remember, the goal of healing is to understand and acknowledge what is coming from, release any shame or judgment to your responses, and then to learn how to help your nervous system, to learn how to feel safe in the moment, and how not to go back to those previous memories so that it can create new responses within the body. All right, together we are going to do a quick nervous system regulation exercise. This is a thank your body reset. So let's regulate together. You can do this wherever you are at any time. You're going to go ahead and you're going to place one hand on your chest and one on your stomach. You're going to take a slow breath in through your nose to the count of 4. And now slowly exhale for the count of 6. The longer exhale tells your nervous system that it is safe enough to settle. Let's do it again. Inhale for the count of 4. And exhale. And now say to yourself, thank you for trying to protect me. Notice what happens to your body when you say that. No forcing, no analyzing, just noticing. And we're going to take another deep breath in. And exhale for 6. And you're going to say, I am safe in this moment. And if you wish, you can do another repetition of breath. This is how you use breath to calm your nervous system and bring you back to a place of safety where logic can start to happen again. So, the next time you find yourself having an automatic trauma response, I want you to, instead of asking yourself, what is wrong with me? I want you to try asking your nervous system, what are you trying to protect me from right now? That question shifts your mindset and it changes everything. It makes the healing become less emotional. It helps you become more regulated. And it helps you to remember that you are learning the difference between past danger and present safety. That is the work. And that is how we move from trauma to triumph. Remember, friends, you are not broken. Your system adapted. And together, we can teach it new safety. If you feel ready to explore your own trauma healing journey more deeply, I offer trauma-informed counseling, nervous system education, and blended healing sessions. If you would like to learn more or work with me, please visit my website, which is in the link below. It is an honor to walk alongside you and share my journey and yours as well. Best wishes.